Demelza, welcome to our Under 30 event. Now, just as a quick background, you've been living in Liechtenstein for about 5 years now. You're coming to us from sunny and warm Florida. Just as a quick update, I know for your title, you've been involved in the crypto space for close to a decade. You've worked as a fund manager, consultant, advisor, author, and now you're head of research at Cointelegraph. Can you tell me your first interaction with the crypto space and what drew your attention as a young person back then?
Sure. Well, thanks a lot for having me on this event today, Olivia. And it's great to always, be in touch with Forbes and attend these great live conferences. Well, so let's see, back in 2013, I was actually on a program from the US State Department called the Fulbright Scholarship. And I was doing research on microfinance in India. And at the time, we were researching how they could save money outside of the banking system because they were only saving about $2 on average per woman. And so there wasn't enough money to open up a bank account, or they might have lived too far away from a local bank branch where they could open up an account. So our goal was just to study these self-help groups, these SHG groups. And when I was Googling and researching papers online, one topic that came up was Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And at the time, Bitcoin still had a fee that was close to zero, and you could actually even do transactions without including a transaction fee. And so people thought that Bitcoin would be used for microfinance. Of course, over time, we saw how that changed due to, traffic on the network and scarcity for the network. And, other cryptocurrencies came in and tried to, take over that microfinance market and offer lower fees. But that's basically how I got interested.
So it really seems that it wasn't because of the hype surrounding it. Now you've been digging even further, deeper into the crypto space. How does it align with your values and your interests? Because it's a conscious decision that you live in Liechtenstein, which is a blockchain-friendly country.
Definitely. Well, I love freedom. And actually, that is what took me from the US to Liechtenstein. So basically, I fell in love with Liechtenstein because they have the right to self-determination, which it's one of the only countries in the world that has that. But basically, what it does is it allows these small municipalities to secede from the state if they have a majority vote. And none of their municipalities have seceded, but I like that within the Constitution, they actually have that right to self-determination. It's one of the, if not the only country in the world that has that written in the Constitution. And the princely family and the monarch in Liechtenstein are all very freedom-loving, and they protect the rights of the individual there. So I really like the overall spirit of Liechtenstein. And that's why I moved there in 2015, because I was trying to open up a Bitcoin ATM network in France. And I was having a really hard time just dealing with lawyers and trying to get a response from them. Maison du Bitcoin, which became Ledger Wallet, they had successfully found out how to do that in Paris, but I was in southern France and I was having a difficult time. And when I went to Liechtenstein and spoke to the FMA, they treated me like I was, on the same level as them. They treated me like a human with dignity, and they gave me a chance. And I took that opportunity and opened up the first Bitcoin ATM in Liechtenstein. But at the time, even in the US, it's so hard to get a conversation with the regulators, but in Liechtenstein, it's, anyone can email the FMA and set up an appointment. It's really an amazing community to help small businesses thrive. So and the connection to cryptocurrency is that, Bitcoin gives you freedom too. It gives you freedom over your resources, over your money, over your value. And, Liechtenstein gives you freedom over your property rights, your person, your land, and Bitcoin gives you, freedom over your property rights and your money. So I love to have control over myself and my assets.
So on that note, I'm going to ask the question that a lot of people might be thinking right now. What does your crypto portfolio look like? Tell us in a nutshell.
Okay, well, let's see. I've got a lot of coins, a lot of small positions in altcoins. So right now, yesterday was the FOMC meeting in the US for the central bank. They spoke about the direction they want to take interest rates in next year. And, they are becoming more and more concerned about the inflation going on in the US right now. And so they want to raise rates. Now, they kept rates low, which everyone basically expected because we're going into Christmas. But they are trying to make market participants feel like they will raise rates 3 times during 2022. And my theory of crypto, of the speculative prices, revolves around central banks and what they're doing with the money supply. And if they're printing a lot, I believe that the cryptocurrency market will continue to appreciate and show phenomenal gains for investors. And if the central banks, start to taper their printing and actually, become maybe institute more austere policies and raise interest rates, then I believe that the cryptocurrency market and all asset classes, stocks and bonds and real estate, will all start to decrease in nominal value. So right now, I'm going increasingly into Bitcoin to answer your question, because when the market, has a liquidity crisis, people fly to safer assets. And I feel that they will reduce their positions in altcoins and go towards the bigger coins, Bitcoin, for example. However, there are a few small coins. In fact, one that I'm really excited about is one made by another Forbes 30 under 30, which is Prismatic on Algorand. So I'm excited about the Algorand community and about Prismatic.
Let's talk about NFTs. You didn't mention that, and I'm just curious to hear your thoughts because you just did a whole ton of research talking about how this is a breakthrough year for these digital representation, these tokens. Is this something that you've embraced yourself? Did you jump on the bandwagon straight away when you first heard about the NFT craze?
Something that's really common with us kind of early adopters of Bitcoin is that we tend to be maximalists. So, we'll get into a topic and we will say any changes or anything new, like we disregard it right away. We're like, oh no, when Ethereum first came out, all the Bitcoin maximalists were like, oh no, that will never take off. And then Ethereum started to take off. And then when security tokens came out, people said, oh no, security tokens will never take off. Mm-hmm. And so my natural tendency was to be like, NFTs, no, that will never work. But as I dug deeper into the topic, I actually realized there's so many amazing opportunities with the NFT technology. And yeah, this recent report that we wrote came out about a month ago. And I think that, over the past year, we saw a lot of interest in digital collectibles and in art. But I think going forward, the big topic is going to be gaming and NFTs within games. So, looking forward, I'm looking at projects like Leetcraft, LITCRAFT.io, Leetcraft, and other blockchain games that have NFTs within them.
Demelza, we don't have much time. I want to finish up with one quick question. Whenever we search online to try and get ourselves up to date with the crypto scene, it just always seems that the question being thrown out is there a bubble? Is it going to crash? Has it already crashed? What's going to happen? I just want to get a sense from you, what should we actually be focusing our attention on?
Oh, sure. Well, I invest for the long term. So I think in the long term, I am definitely betting on central banks depreciating their currencies and other assets appreciating. So I would say in the long term, continue to dollar cost average in with apps like Relay that can let you buy a little bit of Bitcoin each month. But then, over time, if you want to speculate, for example, I would watch what central banks are doing.
Demelza, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Olivia.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.